Public Utility Regulatory Commission to sanction ECG for implementing new billing software as it orders the company to suspend usage of the software.
Expect that they will face these challenges.
But you told them.
Yeah, we told them yes,
that they should do a pilot first. And they didn't.
I don't think they took it seriously because they thought they could roll it out.
What did you do about the fact that
because we didn't know. No, because we didn't know.
Well, that didn't mean that you were not monitoring. Or
no, you wouldn't. No, you didn't know if you don't have challenges. Do you get me? You wouldn't know if there are no challenges because.
We'll get your reactions from the Mines and Energy Committee of Parliament as some MPs say the defect in the software could be down to fraud and meter tampering by some ECG officials. Tonight, the flag bearer of the MPP, Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has also been speaking on utility tariff increases. This is today's big story. With me, Kwache Afreniama. The Public Utilities Regulatory Commission, PURC, is set to sanction the Electricity Company of Ghana for flouting its directive not to introduce a new billing software. The PURC earlier today released a statement asking the power distribution company to halt the implementation of the software. Now, we'll hear shortly more on the sanctions later, but first, listen to the Director of Public Affairs at the PURC, Nanaya Jantua, who has been speaking to Israel Lai of our Energy Desk over their latest directive.
But the complaints that were coming were outrageous. Because, for instance, we have a complaint mechanism, a complaint process. Every year, when it comes to overbilling, we get about, when you do your calculation of the 100% complaints that you get, about 18 to 20% are overbilling. From March till now, 62% overbilling. So then we noticed there was a problem. So then we said that let's deal with the problem. So we investigated, we went around, we went to Kumasi, we went to Takoradi, Accra here. We parts of Koforidua, we are now asking them to do Volta region. I mean, that was enough for us to know that there was a problem. Because where a consumer has been paid, has been billed from 2015 to 2019.
How is that possible?
That is it. So it's a billing software thing. So you see, when you as a consumer, you get that kind of bill, you might not even be able to interpret the nitty-gritty of the bill. What you are interested in is the end product, the net result. And the net result might be a certain figure that is outrageous. The sum for this one, for instance, about 300,000 Ghana cedis. For a consumer who was consuming, paying 50 Ghana, 300,000. So suddenly you know immediately it's an anomaly.
All right. And you're saying that these problems happen to pertain to credit customers?
Yes, mostly credit customers.
So people who consume before they pay their bills?
Yes. People who consume before they pay their. Normally, you see, with the deployment of the prepaid meters, you have complaints about I purchased my unit and everything got finished. I did this and that. With the credit metering, we've never had complaints. It's only the normal complaints that I think ECG overbilled me, one or a few people. But this one, it was mass. Because normally credit meters, you don't get complaints like, because the prepaid meters are new, you hear all manner of complaints that you go in and you deal with. But with credit meters, we never had complaints. So when the complaints started coming, we became suspicious.
Right. Now, what's the proportion of customers when it comes to those using the credit meters and those using a prepaid?
The credit meters are about 70. If a prepaid is about 30%, let's say 70. So
the
credits are more.
They are in the majority.
Yes, they are in the majority. There are more people using credit.
I actually thought that ECG has been phasing out these credit meters.
They are phasing out gradually, but there are more people using credit meters. They haven't phased out completely.
So which areas? Because here in Accra, I believe just about everybody is using...
It's not everybody. Some people are using credit meters. Ashanti region, with the exception of some parts of Kumasi, even some people are using credit meters.
How about the other regions?
All of them.
They're using credit meters?
Yes.
So this prepaid thing is just here in Accra?
Accra, Kumasi mainly, but we have it some in Takoradi as portions, but it's not that wide. So that's why they want to deploy more. But we are saying that even they have 9 meters. I mean, that is another time to talk about it. Because after we finish with this one, we're also going to get data for the prepaid meters to investigate all these. My units are vanishing, things are this, I bought this and I couldn't get the units required and all that. So now we're going to take the meter by meter and interrogate everything, the software, how it is done, everything.
All right, so for now, your directive is that they should suspend the implementation of the new billing software.
Yes.
What is this billing software?
It is a software that is used to get data from the system to bill you. They had it before. That was the old one. And this is a new system they have introduced. It's like any software to promote efficiency. Certainly, if you introduce a new software, you intend that it is better than the first one. What you have to do in rolling out any new mechanism is for you to do a pilot. We asked the ECG to do a pilot before they rolled it out. And for some reason, I think they didn't think it was necessary to do that.
Can they disregard you like that?
No, because you see, because they didn't expect that they will face these challenges.
Yeah. But you told them.
We told them yes.
That they should do a pilot first. And they didn't.
I don't think they took it seriously because they thought they could roll it out.
What did you do about the fact that they were not taking you seriously?
No, because we didn't know.
Well, that didn't mean that you were not monitoring or
you didn't know if you don't have challenges. Do you get me? You wouldn't know if there are no challenges because let's assume that everything went well. And there were no complaints. So it's like your little boy at home, they can play pranks and it's not everything that you see.
Now that you realize that...
We are going to punish them on that one. That one is also waiting.
For disregarding your directive?
For it to get to this point.
What sort of sanctions are they likely to face?
Oh, the law decides what the commission also decides which one to give them. But for this one, if they breach it, because it involves a lot of consumers, the commission has decided that they'll look into the law and apply the most harshest of them. Because we've given them timelines to do certain things. If they do those things that we are asking them to do, fine, Eureka. Then everybody will be okay. We go to the normal bill. We say they should rebill. Inside the rebilling, it means that whoever has paid above their consumption should be given back units, like they did with the retrospective billing.
Now, you have, in the past, not too long ago, you threatened to sanction them again for overbilling.
No, that wasn't for overbilling. That was for faulty meters.
For faulty meters?
Yes.
How have you settled that one?
No, we have done that. So now, gradually, they are replacing most of the faulty prepaid
Did
meters.
you sanction them?
Yes, we did.
What sort of sanction?
We have penalty units. I don't have it offhand, but penalty units, we use some of the penalty units in the law to do that. So we sanctioned them. That one we did it. You see, the law also says that once you give them an order, you have to give them a time frame to respond. If they do not respond, the next one is...
Well, Nanea Janto also explains how the ECG could face sanctions for refusing to comply with an earlier order from her outfits on this particular matter.
This is a very serious matter. You need to get to the bottom of it to be sure of what you are doing. You cannot just get up and say this is it. You need to do a lot of tests, a lot of investigations. You don't have to speculate. We've tested all the meters. We realize that is not it. So then we have to get to this one. Because you see, if you go and accuse the ECG that they have done something, let's assume you all thought it was meters. Let's assume that we said metering because we were in a rush. And we sanctioned them on meters, and this issue will still be persistent. Even the credibility of the commission itself would have been...
so you're saying the problem is not with the meters?
No, the problem is with the software, the billing software. The meter, there are some meters which are faulty, but that is not what is causing the overbilling.
Right, so now that the task force is also working,
we are a member of the task force, but we receive complaints. We interface with the consumers.
What will be the outcome of the task force work now that you've also
once we are part, because we have been doing our work. So the point is that we were not waiting for anybody. We were doing our work, and I remember I said so many times on air that at the appropriate time we will let consumers know what the problem is. We've been doing our work.
What will be the outcome of the task force work?
That one I can't tell. And for now, our concern as the institution that does tariffs and protect the interest of the consumer is to ensure that the consumer is not going to pay any tariff that is above the statutory tariff that they have to pay. And that one is bottom line. I mean, nobody comes in, it doesn't matter what it is. What is important, that consumers are not paying more than the stipulated statutory tariffs.
Right. So now this one deals with people who are on the credit meters.
Yes.
What are you going to do about the
we are going to collect data from ECG to interrogate the data. We have tested the meters, they are accurate, as in the calibration and the measurement and all those things. So now we will go into to find out what is happening that consumers are saying when I purchase, it vanishes. Another scenario is where even the characteristics of the meter, that ECG themselves should do some education. There are some meters that when it trips, that is when your units get finished, that meter will go into a credit mode and to allow you to use it for some time, so that when you use it and you go back to purchase for a certain period, it takes back, it claws back whatever was given to you as a credit. Consumers do not know. So we also suspect that that will be one of the reasons why they are saying that my meter got this thing. Number two, in doing our work, because of this, we've done a lot of extensive work. We realize that most consumers have problems with their earthing. We went to a house in a Kropon.
So the wiring.
We put off everything. The meter was running and they were losing 2 units per minute. So that is also another problem. Air conditioning. If you use air conditioning throughout the night, you won't pay 200 Ghana. You pay more. Because air conditioning takes a lot of electricity. And also the thing that maybe it's a window unit that is old, second hand.
So the prepaid customers will also be taken care of?
Yes, you'll be taken care of.
How soon can they expect?
As soon as possible. We need to solve this problem. When we finish with this one, we'll look at it. Because, for instance, the billing is for everybody. So it is even possible that the prepaid customers, some of them are also facing this problem because of the software. So once the software is corrected, we'll monitor to see if we even get complaints from prepaid customers. If there are still complaints, then we've taken out the software issue. Now then we'll be going to the meters.
Right, so now you've given the ECG, what, 10 days?
10 days to do all this, at least, because we have to do it within the billing cycle so that they can bill. So the point is that the 10 days will take us maybe the first week of June, which within the 28-day billing cycle from the first day of purchase. Because the billing cycle is 28 days plus 14, that will allow you to pay. So it will be within the billing cycle so that there will be not an issue where a consumer will not pay electricity, then there will be retrospective billing and all that.
Again, this directive you've issued comes incidentally coincides with the directive from the Ministry of Communications, from government, essentially telling you that you have to set up and do your work.
Government hasn't directed us. Look at their language, they say request. If they directed us right now, we'll be writing them a letter.
Well, they're requesting you.
Yes, anybody can request.
You had to do this after they requested.
No, we did it. How can we do this after they requested? They requested on Monday, and we finished this work. Monday was yesterday. We finished this work yesterday. So how could they have requested us to do this?
So it doesn't have to do with pressure?
This one, you can't do it in a day. We've taken us almost 3 months to get here. Because if you saw the bills yesterday, we had to interrogate. We set up complaints clinic. We went to Kumasi all over. So it is not something that you can direct today and tomorrow, because we need to know what we are doing. Okay, let's assume today CG says we are going to court. What evidence do you have? We've given evidence even in the media, and now they know what we are talking. We've given them evidence in the order. They know we know what we are talking about. We've made photocopies of the bills and added it. They have seen it. Do you get me? So it's got nothing to do. Government can request. Government is the key stakeholder. Government is the owner of the utility. Government is the custodian of the people. So if government is worried that something is going on that's affecting the people, fine, they can request. Usually you can request. Anybody can request the PURC to do something. But you cannot direct or order us. That one will write you a letter to remind you.
Can customers be assured that after this 10-day period and after this exercise, things should be back to normal?
Yes, it should be back to. If there's any abnormality, certainly when you are correcting issues, you see some abnormalities here, and they've asked them to come and report, and it will be corrected.
How has ECG reacted to this?
They haven't reacted yet. We are still waiting for them to react officially.
Unofficially?
We want official reaction because PURC is an official institution.
But do you get the impression that they're going to comply?
Why not? They will comply. They will comply. I mean, why wouldn't they comply? We will sanction them, and the harshest of sanctions will go to them if they don't comply. This is about the consumer. This is not about any person. It is about the consumer. Over 70% of customers of electricity, they won't comply. Okay.
So that was Nanaya Jantwa. She's the Director of Public Affairs at the PURC. Now, over the past 1 hour or more, a flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party, Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has been wading into this controversy concerning electricity bill. And in fact, he's demanding that government, as a matter of urgency, reduces electricity tariffs. He was speaking here in Accra.
Take a note of the recent, I believe it's today's statement by the PURC that the Electricity Corporation of Ghana should suspend its software billing system. I think that the matter is more fundamental and should go further than that. If you look at the rates that we are charging, industry as well as domestic users, for electricity in Ghana, compared, for instance, to Cote d'Ivoire, already it puts our enterprises in a very uncompetitive comparison. Ghana, my understanding is that the tariff for commercial users is 32.6 US cents per kilowatt hour. The Ivorian equivalent is 13. Again, domestic, residential users, we're talking about 19.28 US cents per kilowatt hour, when the Cote d'Ivoire equivalent is a tariff of 9 per kilowatt hour. So you put these things together, and already Ghanaian industry and economic activity is suffering unnecessarily, and a large part of it is due to the taxes, this insatiable appetite that the Mahama government has for taxes. I believe all of these figures can be significantly reduced to be able to bring the electricity tariff system in our country into a much more competitive relationship with that of our neighbors and what's going on in the region.
Flag bearer of the MPP, Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, there, wading into the controversy concerning electricity bill. And we can now speak to a member of the Mines and Energy Committee of Parliament, Adams Mutawakilu. He joins me on the line now. Thanks for your time here on today's big story. Before we get into the discussion proper, talking about this release by the PURC itself, you were telling me about complaints from some of your constituents over this new software over the past few weeks.
Thank you very much. Good morning to our cherished viewers, and more especially the good people of Damango constituency. This electricity tariff issue has been with us for a little while, and it is evident wherever I go, people complain. Not that they are complaining about the increment of 59%, But the fact of the matter is that it is outrageous. So it became a matter of concern to the Energy Committee. And we've arranged to meet the Minister for Power to explain to us and to convince us how they arrived by those figures, bills for customers to pay. And so today, the Majority Chief Whip, Honorable Muntaka, read a statement in Parliament in respect of the high electricity bill that Ghanaians as well as other institutions and industries received over the period. So it was referred to us. Meanwhile, the committee was already on it. So on Thursday, we'll be meeting the Minister of Power with his relevant agency to explain to us how those bills are generated, what goes into it, what are the inputs that result in those high bills. Fortunately, PURC has also directed ECG to suspend the implementation of the software that they use it. And that is in the right direction. For me, PURC is the center of all this because they are the economic regulator. And therefore, they are supposed to protect the consumers from being exploited by the producers. So that is their mandate. And I want to believe that they will do diligent work. And at the end of the day, whoever has paid over will have some refund.
And I'm sure the point you make essentially is that you believe this is certainly a good move.
It's very, very good move.
Well,
very, very good move.
Some of your colleagues in Parliament, interestingly, believe that this is all down to fraud and meter tampering also by some ECG officials. You agree?
You see, when PURC decided to directed that they should suspend for them to investigate, I don't want to rise to speculation. In that case, as a committee, I will become biased. And we are here to listen to ECG. So I would like to remain neutral for them to be able to convince me. And if they are not able to convince me, I'll be able to get enough information from them to be able to take a decision. So I would not like to go into those areas. I would like to remain neutral and open-minded to be able to take a decision that will be in the interest of Mother Ghana and therefore consumers and producers.
I want your reaction as well, Honorable Mutawakilu, to what the MPP's flag bearer Nana Akufo-Addo has been talking about this evening related to this matter. In fact, demanding that immediately there should be a reduction in electricity tariffs.
I think, I don't know, I cannot see which type of tariff is there do we need reduction.
He talks about
because I can see it in two ways. Because, you see, it's not just saying reduction. One, is the tariff outrageous? And therefore, have consumers paid more and therefore demanded a refund?
Well, he thinks
that is the first thing. That is the first thing we have to ascertain. If it comes out that really it is outrageous, it is not a reduction, but it deserves a refund. So that one is not a reduction. It's a refund to be brought back to the original. Then the second one becomes clear that this is the actual bill. Then we can now talk about reduction. So I'm not looking at it like a reduction. I'm looking at it if it is outrageous and therefore consume charge, there must be a refund. And if there is a refund, it will resort to the actual payment that people are supposed to pay. In that case, it will be a reduction, but it is not a reduction as a result of doing the right thing and therefore deciding to reduce it. So we have to be very careful when we make That's straightforward statement, a reduction. Now, let me give you a scenario. Assuming consumers are supposed to pay 200, a consumer is supposed to pay 200, and they overcharge the consumer, and he paid 500. So at the end of the day, PURC is able to investigate to come out that no, the consumer, and therefore there should be a refund of 300, and the refund is paid to him. And the true reflection of the tariff is 200. Do we say it's a reduction? So first of all, we need to ascertain the facts on the ground. That is the way I look at it. The facts on the ground, let's ascertain it through investigation that the PURC is undertaking. Based on that, we'll be able to make comments.
So you think that it's premature at this point to call for?
Yeah, it's premature.
All right, I want to say, and before you go, Honorable Mutawakilu, you say you have a meeting next week with officials of the Parliamentary? Correct me if I'm wrong.
On Thursday. We're expecting to meet them on Thursday, tomorrow night. Okay,
so this week?
Yes.
Well, we'll be watching closely what the outcome of that meeting will be. That was Honorable Adams Mutawakilu, a member of the Mines and Energy Committee of Parliament. That will be it for today's Big Story. My name is Kwachi Afrenium. Have a pleasant evening.